Let's move on now to Australia, where a bushfire in the southern part of that country has destroyed at least 116 homes. Our CNN producer Joel Labi is here with us to talk more about that. And Joel, this is a part of the country that is very popular with tourists.
That's right, George. Just to set it up for your viewers here, we're talking about Victoria, the Great Ocean Road. This is like the equivalent of Route 101
right.
in the US. This is incredibly popular at this time of the year. Great surfing spots, amazing little townships along that drive. Now it is inundated with bushfires. The town of most concern at the moment is Lorne. Just south of Lorne, we've had 116 homes destroyed by these fires that you can see here. They were sparked about a week ago by lightning. 1,600 people evacuated from Lorne alone. It appears that the threat has subsided for now, but this was a harrowing Christmas day for residents. Let's take a listen to some of them.
We don't know. It's just the unknown, if it's still there or not.
It's an incredibly dangerous area with stressed trees, falling branches. There's all sorts of other issues in relation to asbestos.
And so what we've got at the moment is a situation which is still very much active. Firefighters are hoping that they can get control of this, but they are saying that water bombing isn't going to be enough. And these bushfires are intense, George. They are incredibly intense. 116 homes destroyed already. There's no telling if others had been destroyed or if there had been, if there's even been a chance for people to get back to their homes, and very much an ongoing situation.
Let's talk about this, though. The bushfires, it's common, though, this time of year, given the temperatures, given the winds, correct?
That is right. Christmas and January in particular are some of the hottest months in Australia, and bushfires are not uncommon. We saw a few years ago in Victoria as well, not too far from where these fires are burning, the Black Saturday bushfires, 180 plus people killed in those. Wow. Ever since then, there has been a state of high alert. People are ready for this sort of stuff, but it doesn't get any easier, and losing your home, especially on Christmas, my God, you can only think about what these people are going through right now.
CNN producer Joel Labi. Joel, thank you so much.
Thank you, Joel.
And let's talk more about this bushfire in Victoria. It has already destroyed at least 116 homes. It's burned some 2,200 hectares, or nearly 6,000 acres. CNN producer Joel Labi joins us now with more on the situation there. And Joel, this is a very popular part of the country when it comes to tourists.
That's right. We're talking about the Great Ocean Road, which is one of the prime tourist spots in Australia. This is like the equivalent of Route 101 in the United States. It's a coastal drive. There's a town called Lorne, which yesterday on Christmas Day was very likely to come under threat from the bushfires. We've now learned that for the time being, people there are safe, and the threat has been downgraded in the areas around there. But we're talking about 116 homes destroyed in the blink of an eye, George. This is a fire that was sparked last week and was largely being fought with semi-strong containment lines, but from what I've been able to dig up is that on Christmas Day in particular, this is when the flames started to flare up. Most people in those towns around Lorne spent Christmas Day and Christmas evening evacuating from their homes, and now they have to go back, and many will find that whatever they had was ruined or destroyed.
It's terribly tragic. But I want to ask you, though, you understand, you talked to us about that happening this time of year. It's pretty common, correct?
Yeah, this is common. This is, as Derek mentioned, bushfire season in Australia, but that doesn't undermine the threat. December and January are usually the hottest months, and that means it is incredibly dangerous. I know from personal experience over Christmas, it wasn't uncommon to step outside and see the sky filled with ash from bushfires a couple of hours outside of town. But it was a few years ago, Black Saturday in Victoria, 180 plus people killed. This is where the lessons were learned, and this is when people now are not taking any chances. When the emergency services are saying it's a watch and act, you need to be ready to leave, they leave. And as you can see, 116 homes destroyed, but not one fatality, George. Everybody is safe.
That is good news, and good to get your own insight from it as well, Joel Labi. Thank you so much. And in Australia, firefighters are working to fully contain bushfires in Victoria State. The fires have been subdued, but not before destroying more than 100 homes. Parts of Great Ocean Road, a popular scenic highway, were also shut down. Emergency officials say dry conditions could cause more fires. And for more on these fires, I'm joined by CNN producer Joel Labi. And Joel, from Australia, you can obviously tell us about what's happening there. What is the latest?
Well, George, the latest terminology that the fire crews are using is that this blaze is subdued but not contained yet. So what we can read into is that they have some sort of control over the flames. There isn't enough wind to make it a threat to any more homes for the time being. But New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, that is the time period that is of most concern to them, because temperatures in Australia, temperatures in Victoria, I should say, are going to be hitting the mid to high 30s Celsius, over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And that, coupled with potentially stronger winds, could really fan this blaze out. They're talking that some of these flames may not even be put out until late January, early February, which is extraordinary. Wow. And we have 116 homes already destroyed. That whole beautiful landscape along the Great Ocean Road from the town of Lorne, kind of heading south, is totally scorched in areas. And you're talking about Route 101 in California. You've got the sea on one side and mountains on the other. Well, picture this in Australia and you have almost a carbon copy. It's a very similar situation to what you just saw in California to what's going on in Victoria right now.
So a beautiful part of that country, 116 homes destroyed. But for those people whose homes are no more, what happens with them now?
Yeah, this is the worst part about the bushfire. We should say, thankfully, no one has lost their life. I mean, it is important to stress that, because in the past, bushfires have proven fatal in Australia. But this is a really heartbreaking situation, taking the locals of Lorne and Wye River, etc., to properties that were once gorgeous, overlooking the sea, and are now nothing more than charred ruins. And just have a listen to what they said. They were absolutely traumatised.
About it, understandably. Just really wanted to just sort of look and take it in, and really all you can do is try and support them. We won't be letting the people back in. We won't be able to if it's not safe to.
And as you can hear, George, it just isn't safe at the moment. Even to be let in that area, the flames may have been subdued, but again, not under control. And until firefighters say it is safe to go back in, there's no telling how long that could be. They've even cancelled a music festival, the Falls Festival, which usually attracts 15,000 to 20,000 people a year. They've had to move that well away, about an hour away from where it's usually held, because the threat is just too great right now.
The threat is still real, but Joel, you make the important point: no lives have been lost, and it's because they have planning. They prepare for these things. Joel Labi, thank you so much for your reporting there. Now on to Australia. That is where crews are working to fully contain bushfires that destroyed at least 100 homes in Victoria State. The fires also shut down part of the Great Ocean Road, a popular scenic highway. Emergency officials are warning that dry conditions could make the situation with the fires worse and cause more fires. For more on this, let's bring in CNN producer Joel Labi, who joins us. And Joel, you are from Australia. You can give us a good sense of, the region and what's happening. But with these particular fires, what's the latest?
Well, the latest is that the fire authorities are saying that the fire is subdued but not under control. Okay. So what they're looking at the moment is building containment lines around these towns just south of Lorne, which is on the Great Ocean Road, a very popular tourist destination like what we're seeing on Route 101. It's a very similar setup there. They're trying to make sure that the flames don't spread, because New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, they are expecting temperatures in the mid to high 30s Celsius, over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, these are conditions that if the winds whip up,
right,
this is just could be a catastrophic fire condition, and the blaze is already big enough. I just want to let you know about the intensity of the blaze as well. The Emergency Management Commissioner, who is essentially heading up the operation to stop this blaze, said the other day that the run of this blaze and its intensity would have surely cost lives in the past, which I found extraordinary, because everybody was able to clear out. We've had massive home losses, but a few years ago, without these management preparations that they've got now, the outcome could have been much worse. So we're looking now at planning, preparing, hopefully New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, the conditions are a little bit calmer than what they're hoping for.
And Joel, just briefly here, what about the people? So, you know, you've got 116 homes, you know, that were lost. What about the people who now don't have homes?
This is the worst part of the bushfire. You get out alive only to find out that everything you own has now gone. 116 homes. What the fire crews were doing throughout yesterday was taking people on tours of the fire-devastated areas because it's just simply too unsafe to go back there. And we heard from the emergency commissioners as well, and the people handling the situation out there, just how traumatising this sort of loss is on the people that have in fact lost everything.
Pretty choked up about it, understandably. Just really wanted to just sort of look and take it in, and really all you can do is try and support them. We won't be letting the people back in. We won't be able to if it's not safe to.
Wow.
And that just goes back, George, to what I was saying earlier, that this blaze could flare up at any moment. The amount of land that it has scorched is huge at this stage, and we can only hope that the conditions are more favourable in the days to come. And the way that they're looking at it now, 2/3 of the town still remain standing, and they want to keep it that way.
Joel Labi, thank you for your insight, and we'll stay in touch with you, obviously, following the situation in Victoria State.
Absolutely.